Hi, I'm Gary, and I'm here with my friend Rob, and we are excited to share stories, insights, and the values that guide our lives. Whether you're a long-time listener or new here, welcome. Visit northmancoaching.com for your free toolbox and updates. Let's dive in. Happy listening.
So, today we're going to talk about independence. However, hey Gary, have you heard of the story about Pinocchio?
Better idea.
Yeah.
You remember the story of Pinocchio.
Have you ever watched the TV series? Or the movie
Ask me, ask me if I remember the story.
Everybody's heard Well, no, not everybody's heard the story. I mean, my daughter probably never heard of Pinocchio.
Really?
Yeah,
really.
They don't.
I'll bet you $1,000.
Okay, they don't teach that stuff nowadays.
Okay.
I mean, of course Disney has it, but when's the last time you've seen a Disney movie about Pinocchio? Actually, there was one, wasn't there?
I think so. Why are we still recording?
So, anyways, do you know the story of Pinocchio?
It's about that wooden puppet that didn't want to tell lies. If he told lies, his nose got bigger. The only thing I remember from Pinocchio is that he's a wooden puppet, and when he lied, his nose got bigger. That's honestly all I remember.
But what was he? I mean, trying to become a real boy, though, he went through all these trials and tribulations, right?
Okay.
And so that is him trying to find independence.
Oh, okay, I get it. I thought it was just he couldn't lie or he was trying to be better.
Now, I think there was a whole section of he was trying to find the moral values of life, but him trying to do it on his own. His independence. He didn't have his father hold his hand the whole time, did he?
I don't remember. But you're trying to tell me that he was looking for his values in this whole time in the story?
Why do you think he had Jiminy Cricket on his shoulder?
I have no idea. I thought that the cricket was a character. I don't know.
We should put Pinocchio as our mascot. What are you talking about?
It's not a bad idea. But seriously, I'm going to tell you. You can tell me the real deal. I'm going to tell you what I remember. And I forgot about Jiminy Cricket. I have no idea.
Honest to truth, brother.
So wait, you're telling me when you tell me that Jiminy Cricket, I'm like, oh, so Rob, you're telling me Jiminy Cricket was, it was his conscience, but it's his inside voice.
Oh my God.
So that voice, when we tell ourselves we're doing good or bad, that is our personal Jiminy Cricket. Oh, geez, I get it now.
Exactly. That's why I chose that story for this session. Is because when I came across independence, myself, I struggled with independence as a kid. And I had popped open one of my books in Pinocchio, and I was like, click, let's use Pinocchio. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, Pinocchio is a good example of somebody trying in their independence.
And I'm so glad you did that, because I honestly would have never put Pinocchio and independence together.
Yeah. I don't think I did either until I realized until I was like, oh yeah, he was trying to become a real man, a real boy. And we're trying to become real men.
Or boys.
So, yeah.
So after doing some research based on what we just said about Jiminy Cricket,
I
did some research on this whole thing, and it turns out you're right, Rob. And Pinocchio's journey from a wooden puppet to a real boy can be seen as a metaphor for achieving genuine independence, which I had no idea. Though the story famously centers on truth-telling and moral lessons, it also speaks to the gradual process of maturing into a self-directed individual.
I like that word.
It's crazy that I just said that, because I did not get any of that from watching this movie. And I'm not going to lie, I've never read the book.
So where did you pull that little definition? Oh, you used chat?
I Googled it, but I'm telling you that I guarantee you, or not guarantee you, but I'm telling you, for me and 90% of the listeners, Pinocchio is a Disney story about a wooden puppet who wants to be a boy. And when he lies, his nose grows. I'm pretty sure he became a boy at the end, but I can't remember. It was a while ago. And that's it. I had no idea that Pinocchio could be like the poster boy for growth, for self-growth.
He is,
without lying and making your nose self-grow. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. I'm so glad that you have found Pinocchio for independence, because this is great.
But I like the terminology that Google spit out to you. The
Yeah,
gradual process of maturing into a self-directed individual.
right. I agree. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyway, so let me tell you a story about
All right.
me and my independence.
Yes.
So growing up, all I wanted to do was move out of the house,
Mm.
get away, get not get away from my parents, but to get out from under their wings or whatever, and show them that I could be independent, that they did well, and it's time for me to spread my wings and fly.
Hmm.
So I joined the Navy, and I have seen the entire world. I fought for this country, but when I got out, I realized I did everything the Navy told me to do. They said jump. I said how high. They said put on this uniform. I said yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. They told me when to eat. They told me when to sleep. I was not independent by any means. I just moved from my parents' dependence to the Navy's dependence. Nothing was me or independent.
Wow. Yeah. I was 16 when I struggled with my independence. I detested the way that my mom and dad ruled the house. It was my house, my rules.
Mm.
And I was like, nope, that ain't me. I don't want to be my house, my rules. I go find my own house kind of deal.
Okay.
Yeah, that didn't work too well.
I, I like how you
Um,
say I'm gonna find my own house, but not my own rules.
yeah, pretty much. Well, I mean, because I didn't learn independence. I just learned that there were rules. Everywhere you go, there was rules. Go to college, boy, and you'll get a job, and that job will you can buy a house, and that house you get a wife, and it was all once you hit the next stage, then you'll become independent man. You'll mature. You'll become that independent man once you hit that next stage.
Just happens naturally or magically at that next stage.
Magically, yes. Just like
Magically.
Pinocchio wanted to be magically turned into a boy,
Yes.
I wanted to magically be self-directed individual.
Hmm.
Nobody told me that was a gradual process of maturing. That's why I
Okay.
really like how you Googled that. Yeah.
And it's funny actually. I don't know that your parents or my parents could have really described independence to me. What it was.
Hmm. So, as, as a kid, independence was like the movie Independence Day. That's
Sure.
practically just go out and make your own rules how you see fit.
Shoot down flying saucers.
Suit down, yeah, shoot down flying saucers. I man rebel against the nation. Um,
So I'm not going to say it in this podcast, but to any of my friends from high school that could be listening to this, there is a great story about Independence Day, the movie. I can't tell the story because it goes against my authenticity, my integrity, and everything I stand for these days. I'll leave it at that. I'll tell
oh,
you about it
we're
later.
gonna get you. We're gonna get it out of you.
No, we're not. Not on the recording. We're not.
But coming up through high school, coming up, independence was all about personal freedom. I can do whatever I want to. Just like Pinocchio going to the carnival and having fun and doing whatever he wanted to. It was like an all you can eat buffet of your wildest dreams.
That sounds delicious.
It yeah, it's probably why I got fat too, but yeah.
So Pinocchio, a wooden puppet, craved independence and the freedom to choose for himself. He faced challenges and temptations that tested his resolve, learning that true independence requires responsibility and the courage to make the right choices. And I think the key to what I just said is responsibility and courage. So,
Whoa. You forgot to make the
what?
right choices.
Well, I still don't make the right choices.
Well, yes, but it takes an extra little bit of effort to make sure you make the right choices.
It does. You are correct.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to move on to my next independent story. Now that I've gotten out of the military and realized that I'm still not independent, I met my ex-wife. She's my ex-wife now, not then. We dated for a little while. I moved in with her probably on the second date. I don't know. It's pretty quick. Um, and we lived together, and whatever. We lived our lives together. We were acting. We were playing house
Mm.
like we were taught as kids. So I was
Yep.
we were being independent. We got married. We bought a house. We got married, and think that it was like a big facade. Like we were so dependent on each other that it looked like we were being independent on an individual basis. But without each other, it was not, for me, it was not independent, because I needed her to tell me to do the dishes, make the bed, mow the yard, go to work, get to work on time. And then when we got divorced, I was like, oh shit, now what? I got to pay the bills. Oh boy. Okay. Let me figure this out. And that is when I realized my true independence. When my parents were 1,000 miles away, my wife just left. I have a kid now. So now it's showtime. I'm forced into being independent. And this is where the right choices came in, because I made the right choices. I made a few wrong choices and learned from them, but I made a lot of right choices. And one of those right choices was doing this work to grow into the man that I wanted to be, similar to the way Pinocchio grew into the boy that he wanted to be. And I've realized that this growth, this journey, is never ending. I am like that forever Pinocchio. I am never going to be where I want to be, but I am independent.
Wow. So I definitely agree. That is exactly my same train of thought. I was very dependent on my ex-wife,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me. And it was like Pinocchio being swallowed by the whale when I got divorced. I
Mm.
was in the belly of the whale. Nowhere to go.
But you had a
I
feather, right?
didn't. Yeah, yeah. I still had Jiminy Cricket, and I actually had to learn responsibility and learn to start making choices on my own and how to make the right choices. And I
So
didn't even
go.
know it was independence
Okay.
until I got back out of the whale's mouth. I was just trying to survive
So what did you mean by you have to learn responsibility?
because sometimes you just have to learn to do things because they need to be done. Not whether
Okay.
you want to do it, not whether you have to do it. It just has to it needs to be done and you got to buckle up and do it. And you got to change your mindset to get it done. Responsibility like cutting the grass, paying the bills was the biggest one. I didn't pay the bills. My ex was a very good money manager. And so learning to be responsible, thinking ahead to do it, it took a lot of effort.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. And like you said, it's ongoing. I'm never really that true full boy yet. I don't I don't know that completely I'm that boy or matured man per se because I'm still constantly learning my true independence.
Well, I want to say that I think that you are an independent man, but
Hmm.
yet I think that like me, we're both ever evolving. Like we are not
Yeah.
stopping right here because we
Yep.
are independent men.
Yep.
But I want to just touch back on the whole responsibilities and the paying the bills and stuff. Because it's funny, because so I was a restaurant manager when I was married,
Hmm.
and I paid the bills at the restaurant, and I bought the food that we
Hmm.
had to turn into meals. I was given a budget, and I could spend so much money on cleaning, food, overhead, And I was a numbers guy. The company I worked for had sent me to New York and to Texas to different restaurants to save them because my numbers were always good. I knew how
Mm.
to run a business. I could pay the bills. But at home, it's weird. It was like a whole nother dynamic.
Yeah.
My wife, she said jump. I said how high.
Mm.
I don't know why. So when she left, I was like, oh my God, I got to pay the bills. I don't know what bills I got to pay. What?
Mm.
And now I only have one income. Like I got to pay the bills. I got to buy food. I got to pay the rent. How? What? Then I realized it's the same as the restaurant. I just
Mm.
created a budget. I said, this is how much money is coming in. This is how much goes to rent or mortgage. This is how much goes to food. This is how much goes to the kid. And this is what's left over. And I'm telling you, for the first couple of months of my divorce, the leftover amount was for the month less than $7, I think it was.
Mm.
And I remember going and buying a 25-pound bag of rice
Mm.
to fill me up with food when I had no money.
Yeah.
And that was like, I wouldn't call it an aha moment. It's almost a funny moment now, but it was scary. Like a 25-pound bag of rice to hold me over when I was hungry with no money.
Mm.
That is called good decision making.
Yeah.
Now I eat steaks every day almost.
Don't say that, man. Yeah. But it took effort. It took effort.
So you tired of life's puppet strings? Independence is your path to unstoppable creativity and your chance to write your own story. I don't like that.
I don't either. You read it. I told you to make it your own.
Okay, I'm going to redo it. So, Rob, have you ever just wanted to stop and rewrite your own story?
Sometimes, not really, because I've gotten to where I am. So
I guess you're right. I agree. I wouldn't want to change anything, but no, I don't like this.
now I know where you're trying to go with that. Are you in a situation to where you think you're living somebody else's life, or you're living a life where somebody else is pulling your strings, telling you what to do, how to live? Independence is your path to an unstoppable, creative way to change your life and to rewrite your own story.
That was beautiful. We're keeping that. Wow.
Oh, all right.
You better take that hard on part out. But okay, finish it up.
See how many people are actually listening.
I got an ant tattoo.
Yeah, but I'm telling you though, Pinocchio should be our mascot.
He could be for this one, sure.
That was actually, you probably do need to think about how you can incorporate Pinocchio into. Have you seen the Pinocchio movie? What did you like about
Pinocchio?
Okay. Anyways, do it with your daughter this weekend.
Right time. Was it?
Yeah.
Be a lot going on tomorrow.
All right, and that's a wrap.
Upbeat. Do a jumping jack.
Yeah. And that's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out with us today on Living by Oak Values. If you love what you heard, hit the subscribe button and stick around for more inspirational conversations. Got thoughts or want to dive deeper? Share your story. Snag free session at northmancoaching.com. Oh, and if you've got a story worth sharing, why not be a guest on our show? Drop us a line and we'd love to hear from you. Join us again next week for another inspiring episode. Until then, keep embracing your values and stay authentic. Not bad.
Where are we at?
We're at the end. That was it.
Time-wise.
Time-wise. We got 5 minutes.